Welcome everyone to episode 29 of the Migtown podcast, your only weekly source for dog pounds catering solely to German Shepherds. As always, I'm producer Tim, and joining me this week is Drexel. Say hi.
What up to everybody in the world?
The countdown to Anime Matsuri is on. You excited?
3 weeks exactly from today. So I'm looking at tickets. It doesn't look too bad. I'm looking at a round trip for 230, 250. So that's not bad. Not
Man,
bad at all.
airplane tickets in the US are so goddamn cheap compared to Canada. It's like
Well,
$1,000 for me to go home.
yeah, but I mean, you're dealing with international tax and the fact that they're basically just
Oh,
upcharging you. Because if
no,
a
I
Canadian
mean
went
domestic.
down, oh really?
Yeah, it's $1,000 for me to domestic all the way to well, I'm not gonna dox my hometown, but it's $1,000 for me to get home. Calgary to Toronto is the cheapest flight in Canada because it's like the busiest one, but it's still $390
Ooh,
one way.
oh, that just sounds like you guys need money.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
what is the drive distance between Calgary to Toronto?
Oh fucking hell! It's like 3 full days, something like 30 some hours.
Oh, well, then that's purely worth it. You would lose more money by not working. Damn, that's still terrible though.
And like if you don't go, most Canadians will just dip across the US border and take a shortcut through like going around Chicago to get over to southern Ontario rather than having to go north of Lake Superior and go through northern Ontario. The highways there are awful and there's a lot of wildlife that can just kill you. You'll hit it with your car and it just kills you. You know, like you play a racing game and there'll be like an animal on the road, and if you hit the animal, it's game over. That's pretty much Northern Ontario IRL. But yeah, the countdown to Matsuri's on. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be exciting. I'll try to get myself down there, but Vic's gonna be there. I heard. The man Vic Mignogna himself.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy for his comeback trail. All this, everything that he's experienced. I told him I'm a Vic. This everything he's experienced is basically over a tweet, right?
Yeah.
So someone decides to, start typing in, and they just click send, and that can cost you $250,000 as a man of means, and you can have all your job opportunities ruined, right?
I did want to tell him, like I pulled my Rooster Teeth first subscription over what they did to him. And then when those emails between Matt Hullum and Monica came out, no fucking way, man. I actually made them refund me for that year because of that. Um, but knowing Vic too, he'd be like, "Oh well, I don't, I'm flattered, but I don't think you should be, pulling your access to entertainment for my sake." Like that's probably what he would say because he's just that kind of a guy, right?
I mean, I get it. I mean, some people aren't confrontational like that. I am. I believe in going scorched earth.
Yeah.
That is the way I see it. If someone, me too's me, I'm going scorched earth. Like literally anyone and everyone who helped somebody, or you said one word of encouragement or reinforcement to someone who me too'd me, and you knew it was bogus, then yeah, you got to go ahead and be a victim too, man. I don't play that. I don't like the way that he was done. I don't like these organizers, right? Convention organizers who decided they're going to cancel him based on what? Because a chick said something. Come on.
And it just made, in that context, what they did to Vic and those emails between Hullum and Real, and then what happened to Haywood and Adam Kovic, right? Where they're the actual creeps. They're the ones who are messaging underage girls allegedly. They're the ones that are pegging themselves on camera. In that context, isn't that just great? Isn't it great? Isn't it great to be a hypocrite in this world?
You know what I always say? This is what they wanted, right? The people who support these people, these are obviously people I don't support. This is what they wanted. This is what you so don't complain. This is anyone out there who co-signs to this nonsense. You got what you wanted, right? And I don't know if you've noticed this. You've heard some of these things, but certain celebrities, like I believe Chris Rock has talked about cancel culture, and now Kevin Hart is calling it out. So you're starting to see people push back because they're starting to realize, but like, you guys are the ones that were allowing this. Anyone who pushes cancel culture needs to be canceled. Scorched earth. Anyone who supports Me Too, on the wall. Anyone. Like, if you say one positive word about Me Too, you're suspect against the wall. Because I know you're a fraud. Because once you understand what Me Too is, which of course is the lack of accountability, right? No due process and wealth transfer, right? That's why if you notice, the Me Too cases don't go to criminal court. They always seem to go to the court of public opinion and civil court, which means destroy your character and then get money.
Yep.
Nah, I'm not standing for that. Not standing for that at all.
Some other news in the Migtown world. I've sent the first T-shirt to the printing press.
Smooth.
Unfortunately, it's not going to be ready in time for Anime Matsuri. I was hoping it would be, but it's not going to get here in time. But I think I'm just going to do a run of 20 shirts, 5 of them 2XL, 10 in extra large, and then 5 in large. And I'll list them on Patreon and Subscribestar for people to buy them.
Nice.
We'll do North open to North America only, just because shipping is going to be a bitch. I got to figure out that stuff. Yeah, we'll get the first run out. And we'll see what the success is, and if it is successful, we'll do a lot more of them. I hope to
Indeed.
see. By the way, Drex, what size shirt do you wear?
Yeah, well, it depends on the shirt. Yeah, no, like a 3X, something like that, 3, 4X.
Uh, yeah, these are going to be pre-shrunk Hanes shirts.
Oh, yeah, probably 3X.
Okay. I'll throw a 3X for you.
Dick gave me an XM, so I'm forgiving him for that. I don't know what shit he gave me a damn midriff.
He wanted you to look like that. What was his name? Ray from Scary Movie. Right? Remember, he
Yeah,
tucks his shirt in. He's like, "Hey, does this make me look gay?"
that's pretty much yeah. Dick did me dirty, and he gave me whatever his little brother shirt for road rage.
Yeah, maybe he mixed it up with the Little Irishman.
Yeah, it was definitely midget size.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, I'll throw an extra one in there for you. We'll make sure you get one for yourself because Drex, did you ever think growing up in your lifetime that you'd wear a shirt with your own face on it?
No. I was always out like doing stuff. Like I've always been the guy who was actually out there doing X, Y, and Z. So like I didn't really have time in life to like stop and be like, a shirt with my name. Like, yeah, I mean, unless I was gonna be like a rock star or something, I was normally
Well, I
out
mean, you
doing
pretty much
stuff.
are. You're a rock star here in the Migtown universe.
Well, one of the things I find funny is that I mentioned this about the road rage thing with Nick and I. Is that like we're just regular dudes. So when people were like, "Yo, Drex, I'm scared to ask, but you mind if I get your autograph?" Like, dude, I'm just a guy. Like I'm not that like. In I don't know if you've noticed, but quote unquote internet celebrities, I think, are becoming much more prevalent and relatable than like your quote unquote real celebrities, right? Like, movie star types. Because there was always like this block, right? They always had like, private security around them and they were too cool for school. Whereas like dudes who are, like a guy like Nick, like, yo, Nick, can I get a picture with you? Sure. You simply like, we don't do this whole like weird, like I'm too cool.
Like Nick's even better than that. It's not just Nick, can I get a picture with you? Hey, Nick, can I come by? Can I swing by your house? Can we meet up for lunch?
Yeah.
When's he ever said no to anyone? Unless it was like maybe Banjo or something. You don't want that guy around. You don't want that guy around children, but um, but when has Nick ever said no to a fan? I can't think of any time. Right? He meets people in Wilmer all the time for lunch. That was how I met him for the first time. I happened to just be driving through Minnesota, and I messaged him and said, "Hey Nick, could we meet up for lunch or something?" Soder came out and joined us too. Um, and that was the first time I met Nick in person, and he was just a chill guy. He was late though.
Of course it
I
was.
will tell that story. He was late.
I just hope he's making the right decision because, I mean, I think about people who have been harassed by fans. Jodie Foster, obviously with John Hinckley Jr. We saw what happened to someone like John Lennon, Chris Kyle, the one that American Sniper is about. Like, you think someone, you're trying to help someone. So I do hope that Nick he's at least doing some kind of vetting or screening because
Probably.
you have people who will pretend to be your friend or pretend to be a fan just to get close to you to harm you or your family. So hopefully Nick is taking precautions because you know this, Tim. There's crazies out there,
Oh,
right?
there are. And I
And,
think, like, I did take a bit of a shortcut too, because Nick knew me from the Dick Show Facebook group before that. Like,
uh,
he'd never met me in person before, but he did know what I was about going back to those days. Um, and then, like I said, the first time we met was not at his house. It was just at a club of some kind, or I think it was a golf club that had like a bar upstairs. Um, and I'm pretty sure that he takes the basic precautions. The other thing too is, I'm pretty sure Nick. Well, unfortunately, he lost all his guns in a tragic boating accident at the bottom of a lake. But like, first of all, the isolation that he lives in is his first defense, right? You can't even. Fun fact: you can't even actually Google Map his address. It takes you to the wrong place.
he does.
So, I did crash an airplane into his house in Flight Sim.
Nice.
I sent a screenshot to him. He loved it. But anyways, oh god, the gaming stuff's for another day. But no. I think Nick does basic vetting. Just in my case, he had happened to have known me for a few years before that. Just doing just shit talking on the Dick Show Facebook group. Oh, those were the days. Back when Biggest Problem was still running. I remember the first time he called into that show too. He just like, "Hey, I'm a real lawyer, and you guys talked about this thing, and I wanted to add my 2 cents." And I mean, then a lawsuit happened, and fucking Nick just kicked off his own career from there. Most people know Rackets from the Vic Mignogna stuff, but Nick's first famous breakthrough was covering the lawsuit that Maddox filed against Dick Masterson. For I think he sued him for and he fucked up, right? He meant to sue him for some amount, but because his lawyer fucked up writing the lawsuit, he actually sued him for I think it was like 8 times the amount he was actually asking for.
Oh God. But
So
dude,
it went from like he was going to sue for $30 million. I think it ended up becoming something um like $320 million was
it's
the actual
stupid.
total of the lawsuit. Because when his lawyer wrote it, he fucked up.
That's
Oh god, go back and watch Nick's videos about the lawsuit. It's like some of the first ones on his channel. They're so funny when you read through. And you'll see too, like Nick has been doing his show format consistently since day one, where he's pouring a whiskey and he just reads through these lawsuits.
yeah, well, a lot of these people are just ridiculous. Nick, any lawyer can tell you that. Like talking to a lawyer in some ways is kind of similar to talking to like a police officer or something, right? Where you start asking about some of the calls he's received, right, from dispatch, and these guys like, oh yeah, we went to this one house this one day, and this is what was going on, this would happen, and just crazy stories, right? Like especially if you live
Yeah.
in like a major city, you get just these insane stories, some dangerous, some funny, some peculiar, but like you just get so many because they're just weirdos.
It's mostly crackheads. Honestly, it's mostly just crackheads that are responsible for all that stuff.
Yeah, I
And
mean
meth
the
heads.
chick at McDonald's who decided she was going to go, fight the employees and the manager. Just it's just stupid, it's just pure stupidity, right?
Um. Oh. Fun fact about so one of the people that Maddox sued was a comedian who lives in New York. That was like a mutual friend of both of them when they were doing Biggest Problems. Asterios Kokonos. The lawyer that Asterios hired, when he wrote the response, if you took the first letter of every paragraph, it spelled out Maddox is a cuck.
Nice.
Man, that is a base lawyer. I remember when Nick pointed that out, I was like, "Oh shit, you're right." it says something like Maddox is a cuck, Dick is the winner, or Maddox lost, or something like that. I forget exactly what it said, but I mean, to draft a legal document and then sneak that in there, oh, that's great. But I mean, that's what that lawsuit deserved because it was so garbage. You thought, hey, you thought what's her name, Melinda Scott. You thought a Melinda Scott lawsuit was hilarious. Wait till you read what Landau, Maddox's lawyer, wrote.
Well, I gotta be honest with you. My biggest problem with the justice system, the legal system, is the fact that these things can get that far. Like, to me, if you put forward some ridiculous lawsuit, you should be done, and then you have to pay the other person's legal fees, and then that stops people. So now, then people start thinking like, unless I have a truly legitimate reason to sue someone. Now, given that, someone's gonna go, well, Drex, that's very subjective. But you've heard some of these lawsuits, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm suing the manufacturer of this whatever because I walked outside.
AR-15. I'm suing the manufacturer of AR-15 for a school shooting.
Yeah, that's absurd. It's like, well, I mean, what? So if someone yeets somebody with a fork, do you sue the fork company?
Gorilla
Glue girl. Yeah, just stupid stuff. Like, dude, the fact that it even gets that far, right?
Yeah,
that's letting you know just how broken the system is. Like, Gorilla Glue Girl was able to get money. Let that sink in.
So the lawsuit against Dick, Asterios, it went a lot further because Asterios was in the forum that Maddox filed the lawsuit in. But Dick was dropped off the lawsuit for lack of jurisdiction because he lives in California. So Maddox should have filed it in a California court. So it didn't even go far. It still cost Dick over $30,000 to defend it.
Of course it does. And no one talks about that. It's something that I've spoken about. Obviously I just mentioned it with Vic, when a tweet can cost you $250,000 and people think, why is Drex so anti-Me Too? Why is it? That's why. Because you can just say, look what happened to Johnny Depp, right? Johnny Depp has spent millions, and lost millions over, you just say anything. Like dude, if someone doesn't see why this is a big deal, right? Drex, it's not that big of a deal. See, people say that until it becomes them, right? And so you're minding your own business one day, right? It'll just be a regular Wednesday or Tuesday. You're minding your own business. You're online or something, and all of a sudden your phone starts blowing up. You're like, what the hell? And you look, and you're like, oh, did you hear what this person said about you? Could you imagine finding out, like, after the fact that someone online has said made up stories about you, and then you start getting served? Legal paper, dude. I've been served. And it was all false. And you're sitting looking like, wait, are you serious? Like, people don't understand this. It is bad when you get served at your house. And what is contained in these documents is so fraudulent that you thought it was a mistake. I want people to really let that sink in. Like, you're like, wait a minute, this is all wrong. This has got to be some kind of a error. Something was filed that was something that was misread, something like, and then you find out it's not. You're like, oh, you're serious?
Yeah, are you serious? Holy hell, that was a hell of a tangent. Anyways, that's not even what the show's about today. You want to talk about friendship today, right? So let's get right into the topic of today's show.
Today is an episode that's actually inspired by one of our fans / great critics, and I mean critic in a good way. This is for Curious Dolphin. He's one of the people that inspired this episode. It's a topic I've wanted to talk about for a while. And it's all about friendship, right? Because, some people talk about the doom and gloom. They talk about, certain things being repeated, which happens with anyone the longer you go. But this issue of friendship, I want to talk about the many facets and levels of friendship is very important. And so once again, shout out to Curious Dolphin. And I look at friendship like this. I was listening to some songs that really highlight friendship, right? And if you're a rap fan, Capone and Noriega, CNN, their very first album, The War Report, there's a song called "Live On, Live Long," and of course, it's Noriega talking about Capone, who's locked up in prison. So when he goes ahead and says, if your heart stops beating, I'll go back in time, make your heart beat again. There's these bonds that we have. Kanye West's song "Real Friends" off of his Life of Pablo album, another great song about friendship. But the defining song about friendship to me is certainly off of Nas and Damian Marley's Distant Relative album. So if you guys are out there listening and you've never heard the song, it's just simply titled Friends, Nas and Damian Marley. And the song really, really encapsulates so much about what friendship is. Like, I look at just even the chorus, right? So the chorus changes every time there's a bridge, right? And as he says, of the real friends that will serve you long, your memories might fade, sunshine or rain. Your real friends will serve you long, acquaintances will fade. Your real friends won't do you no wrongs. Real friend don't change. And you start thinking about these people in your life, man. You have acquaintances, right? They fade, they come, they go, whatever, right? And I think about all the things that tie us together, our bonds. These things are extremely important to all of us, men, women, children. Like, how do we build these things? You think about the way things are exchanged, right? I want you guys all to think back to your early childhood, right? What gets exchanged? Ideas are exchanged, music is exchanged, culture is exchanged, food is exchanged, right? And I was looking at a YouTuber. Her name is V Cunha. I hope I'm saying that right. She's a girl reacting to movies that guys typically would be watching, right? And they suggest movies for her. And it's interesting to see a person who that's not the normal movies that she would watch. And she's like spellbound by how great these movies are. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I never saw this. Like, she saw Star Wars, the first six. We won't talk about the other ones. Those never happened. And you listen to her, and it's a great example because as she's looking at the brotherhood and loyalty of a movie like Gladiator, right, with Maximus and his loyal men who are also slaves, she loves it, right? And we think about some of the movies that we grew up with, right? The buddy cop movies, all of this relates to the masculine bonding. You see what I'm saying? And these are things that we all rallied around as kids, right? Whether it be Tango and Cash, even in the modern era, Rush Hour, I'm saying, people of different cultures, whatever, but they always joined forces. They were always bound together.
Can you think of a movie where they tried to do that with female characters? Like Ghostbusters remake?
No. They have done it well with female movies, just not when they try to use a male franchise. So like The Heat with Melissa McCarthy and Sandra Bullock, for what it is, I think it's really good. It works. Like I said, I'm not really usually watching too many movies where it's like, chick bonding, because normally it starts to get more sappy. But like every now and then you get a movie that has females bonding, and yeah, it can usually be pretty good. Not often though. Just not the way it tends to go. And
bonding is different between men and women.
Well, women don't really bond though. They really don't.
Exactly. One can do it and the other can't.
Yeah. Women stab each other in the back like in a heartbeat. The only thing that gets in the way of dudes is that if your friendship isn't strong enough, it's usually a female. That's usually the only thing that really gets in the way of dudes, is when a female gets in it. But women just end up doing stuff that's crazy. That's why you hear a lot of women say, I hate women. I don't want to hang around women. I'd rather hang around dudes. I only have male friends. You hear these things because women know how awful. Dude, they're horrible. It's always gossipy and backstabbing. And something else that hit me, Tim, is that they never seem to want to just give the other one props. When you get a promotion as a guy, we're happy for you. Women are always tearing each other down, bro, on their looks, on their this, on their that, what man they're dating. Like, it's always negative.
The people who attack Kamala the worst are other women when they call her
Absolutely.
Heels Up Harris.
Always. It's always something that devolves into, sexuality, degeneracy. But when it comes to men, our bonds are much more pure in their origins, right? And I think about just the origins of our friendship in this world, and it can happen anytime, anywhere. And I can recall way back when there's a song. The song of the album is the same name, Aquemini by Outkast, right? And I had a buddy of mine, and he's the one who introduced me to it. I wasn't a big Outkast fan. He's like, oh, no, man, you really got to listen to this album and stuff. So once again, and this is something that kind of has diminished with the whole online era, which is a friend of a friend. And when you listen to the chorus of Aquemini, even the sun goes down, heroes eventually die, horoscopes often lie. sometimes why nothing lasts forever. And of course, it goes on to say, until they close the curtain, it's him and I, Aquemini. And these things are extremely powerful because a lot of people don't understand. Andre 3000 and Big Boy started off as rivals. That's how their friendship grew. So both of them were wanted a rap career. And what ends up happening? They were battling each other. Now, the beauty of men is that, see, this is something that only men have. If men have a rival, it is within battling their rival that their bond grows. They don't resent each other more. They want to best each other, and yet they start to realize, wait a minute, we have extremely good chemistry together. That's how Andre and Big Boy formed Outkast. Imagine battle rapping this dude at school, right? You go to the same school, and you're constantly trying to one-up each other, and then it just hits you one day. You're like, wait a minute, man, I like your style, because their styles are yin and yang. They're opposites of each other. So rather than sit here and just what women would do, I gotta be the queen bee, I'm just gonna bicker or tear her down, they join forces and something beautiful is formed. You see what I'm saying? And so they go ahead and create that. And the crazy thing is about listening to Outkast was the dude, when I say a friend of the friend, the original friend who introduced me to the other friend, this is crazy. I met him. He lived in my neighborhood. We were growing up. I met him when he first put up his basketball hoop. He lived across the street from my very best friend. So he puts up a basketball hoop. He carved his name into the cement, and the year was 1992. You see what I'm saying? And when I tell people how long I know people, how long we go back, how far we go back, what we've been through, I don't do these fly-by-night friendships. People that I know, man, that I break bread with, these are 20, 30-year people in my life, like Nick, right? And to speak about someone like Nick, I look at how things evolve with Nick and I. Like I said, when I first saw Nick, he was actually getting into a fight, ironically enough, with one half of the twins who lived in my backyard. So here's me living here in my backyard. We're male twins, obviously. Across the street from me, eventually moved in female twins, dated one of them. And it was the weirdest thing to see, man, because you think about when you meet these friends and they tell the story of how they met you. If you look a little embarrassing, you don't ever seem to really remember that, right? So if I remember, he goes, I remember the first time I met you and you were wearing these short shorts and riding a bike and something. I'm like, I don't remember that, man. I don't remember that. And of course, they rib you, right? I think about when I met my best friend, who I call, anytime Nick is on his channel, he refers to him as your cousin or M. He's referring to somebody that, of all the ways to meet someone, I'll never forget this, man. I was riding my bike, and I had to have been maybe 5 or 6, somewhere in that age. And the chain came off my bike, and my bike got all out of whack or something. So I hop off the bike and start walking my bike home. As I'm walking home, this guy with his family, because they're Mexican, so there's like 900 of them on the front lawn, right? His dad, who I didn't know was his dad at the time, he yells to me, "Hey, you!" And I look over. He said, "Hey, what's wrong with your bike? Come over here." So I come over there. His dad fixes my bike chain and says, "Yeah, try that." I'm like, "Oh, it works." And he goes, "Oh, this is my son." And I remember he kind of creeps out and he's like, "Hey, that's all it took back then." Was it 1987, 1988? It was about 87. Yeah, I was 5 then. So in 1987, that's how your lifelong friendship with your very best friend is formed. Just a chance encounter. And people now aren't really going to sit there and do things like that, right? People want to, go on apps and size people up to see what they can get out of them. But that's what friendship meant to me. And that's why I bring up, if you guys notice, best friends in life tend to be people who are opposites, right? And that's why when people talk about Nick and I go, dude, we're opposites. We have our core is the same, but we're opposites. It's no different than this. It's no different than Luke and Han Solo. It's no different than Craig and Smokey. Like, look at friends, especially in the male space. They're usually opposites because how they gauge and interact and digest a situation. Certain people's skill sets and viewpoints help the other, and they trust the other. You lean on each other, and there are so many things that helps them evolve. And adversity and the banter helps. And the smack talk is so damn important. We talked about this with Dollhouse Phil. And, he was talking about how, the ribbing of friends, and you're just sitting there talking shit, shooting the shit. And for all you guys, I told you guys last night, man. For all you guys who remember when Smash Bros first came out, when Mario Party first came out, do you guys remember when GoldenEye was out? Do you guys remember when Halo came out? You guys were talking shit. Do you remember that shit? Do you remember being in the same room talking shit?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, they were the good days, man, because it's funny, it's actually on my notes, is people don't realize this, but back in the day, we had to, and this Phil talked about this also, to put it in perspective, man, you had to trade games. So it became a thing. Like, one of the ways that your friendships evolved as children, I was a child of the 80s, your friendship evolved because you had to rely on people to follow certain rules. So one of the rules was that, yo, man, when someone in the neighborhood gets game X on regular Nintendo, dude, don't go out there and buy the game. We just trade. So everybody in the neighborhood was always trading games with each other, so that way we could experience different. This is long before GameFly, Steam, streaming. None of that shit existed back then. So you had to always rely on each other. So everything was about equal value. This guy has this game. This guy has that game.
Man, the best example of that were the Pokemon games that came out for Game Boy. Red and Blue, Gold and Silver.
Yeah,
like you had to trade with other people. One person would buy gold, the other person would buy silver.
Yep.
And you would have to trade with them to complete the game.
Correct. Well, and you think about that though, Tim. You look at when people did that, right? And the funny thing is that it was all pure. There was no talk about class. There's no talk about race. No identity politics. It was just pure. Saying. And, like you said, I wasn't a Pokemon guy. I'm fully aware of Pokemon. But it's like the nature was basically the same, right? When someone says, gotta catch them all, whether it be the games or the cards or the Magic the Gathering, dude, you always wanted opposites. Opposite value, equal and opposite value. So one of the things I think back to, dude, we had different backgrounds, man. This whole, this new modern culture of being an echo chamber, no. And that's why I give Nick mad props. Nick has different types of people on his show, even people he won't necessarily agree with. He's like, hey, yo, bring your perspective. I'm the same way. There's things I don't agree with somebody. I may be a certain way, but it's like, hey, yo, let's talk, bro. And due to these different backgrounds, right? There were different influences, especially in conversations, right? When we formed the Tekken crew, there were two kids in the crew that were adopted, one Asian, one Indian. I remember the first time being exposed to Moby and Rammstein, right? Tool. Well, how do you think that happened? How do you think I was exposed to music I didn't normally listen to? Well, that means someone in your crew is listening to this. And then what happens? You exchange ideas. Yo, man, you like that? One of my main man who introduced me to Tool and all that, and Moby, because he's a techno guy, we had him listening to Staring Through My Rearview Tupac, because, of course, it is taken from Phil Collins' song In the Air Tonight, along with DMX's I Can Feel It. And he's like, oh my God, but because he knows Phil Collins. And he's like, and I was like, oh, so that's where that song comes from, right? Because we'd read the liner notes. So you start to compare and contrast notes, you're exchanging ideas, and we would shoot ideas off of friends, right? To find meaning, understanding, and purpose. Games, movies, girls, clothes. We would debate all of it. You see what I'm saying? And that's what even the silly games. Who would you fuck? When somebody's like, yo, who's the baddest Asian? Back in the day, I was like, oh man, Asia Carrera. You know what I'm saying? Like, just silly stuff. That's just what guys were doing. And the way that our friendships evolved, right? They would evolve and evolve and evolve. And it's like, you have to always remember though, man, the friendships do evolve, not always the way you want them to, but they're always going to evolve for the way that they need to, because we do grow older. And you have to try to find out how best to deal with this, because there was a time when, Nick was the first of us. I think in our whole crew, he might be one of literally the only ones to be married. Well, Nick was the first to get married and the first to have a kid. And there was like this window of time where we kind of looked side-eyed at Nick, because I'm like, yo, bro, what, you don't got time for us? And he was like, yo, dude, I'm always busy. And of course, us being single guys, like, there's no way you could be that busy just because you're married with one kid, bro. You can come over and hang out. And then, of course, once I had a kid, I realized, yeah, man, Nick wasn't out lying, man. These kids are something else. And I got one. Hell, he's got 5. But you don't let the friendship deteriorate. It just evolves, right? And of course, now we're back to full circle with being that he's got kids. His kids around my girl's age, so we go and hang out and spend a whole week together. You see what I'm saying? Especially now that summer's here, so I'm happy for that. And the thing is, though, your friends, they don't appreciate you any less. It's just a matter of priorities, right? Because sometimes, and that's why I said that it felt that way at that time. I was kind of like, man, I don't know, man. That kind of felt weird. Dude doesn't have as much time for us. But, even when your time together is limited, I always tell people, man, I would say to anybody, cherish and maximize that time with your friends, man. Like really cherish it. Because a lot of times, have you guys ever had that friend that you haven't talked to in a good while? Because, they got a family, maybe you got a family, maybe you moved over here, you moved over there, and your conversations pick right back up like the old times. The distance didn't matter, nothing changed, nothing, right? And the change ain't bad. But you know what I'm saying? You look at these friends and sometimes, right? Sometimes you think back and you have the friends that you unfortunately see that may be doing something a little self-destructive. That's why they need to lean on you, right? And I look back at my own life and it's important to share your losses with your friends, man. You got to share your L's because they aren't living right in that moment with you. And it tends to improve the friendship because it helps build trust, right? When you're going through some real shit, man, and you have that heart to heart with your friend, that stuff truly matters. You understand? And I remember when I was in college with Nick, that was junior year, I was technically homeless, right? Because I got campus police looking for me because I hadn't paid tuition. And Nick and I had that brief falling out due to a misunderstanding. And my roommate, who would have said he was a friend, stole all my shit while it was spring break and sold it to a pawn shop down the street. And Nick and I made up, and it was just funny how it was there. Nick was there. These other people, man, these people ain't your friends. They're phony. So you can go through something and just like that, it just happens, right? I mean, it's no different than when I was in Montana with the family court, right? When I broke down, it's the only person who's ever seen me cry in my adult life where I just completely cracked, finally. It was going into trial because, I hadn't seen my kid, and the temporary order stated that I was supposed to spend, what did I say? 8 hours per month with my kids supervised and I'd have to pay. So as you can imagine that, hell, someone's trying to order you to never see your kid, basically, to not be in your kid's life. And I got posed with a question that finally made me crack. And she's the only one that's ever seen it. And yeah, it is what it is. But at the same time, I think back and this same friend who, saw me at my weakest, I look back at her and she ended up going down the wrong path. And I know some of you have probably known that person, right? If you guys ever had a friend who you guys were close, you guys were like brothers, like sisters, whatever, everything was good. And then you start looking, you try to check on the person, like, oh, hey, what's up? What's new? How you doing? And then like maybe you don't hear from them for a little while, right? And you're thinking, okay, well, I'll check in on them. And all of a sudden you find out, man, they're on mugshot.com. Like, what the hell have you been doing? Because ultimately that friend did not reach out to you before they were going to go down the wrong path. A lot of times, man, people are dealing with stuff and they start feeling like ashamed, like, well, I felt that you were going to judge me or something. Like, well, you goddamn right I'm going to judge you. Because your friends should judge you. And they should also understand you. So you need that. That's that true love that only friendship can solve, where, you say, hey, man, snap out of it, right? You slap someone in the face, tell them to slap out of it. Because these people don't understand, man. When you are out here doing stuff, going down, whether it be drugs, whether it be hooking up with the wrong person, like, bro, you're about to get up with, like I'll give you an example, man. If Johnny Depp were my friend for all of his flaws and all that stuff, if I saw him hook up with someone like Amber Heard, you owe it to Johnny Depp as his friend to step in and do everything you can to prevent him from being with Amber Heard. You see what I'm saying? Because you would see the crazy. Because he is, foolish and in love, rose-tinted glasses. You have to come in and be like, yo, bro, no, we got to put a stop to this. You see what I'm saying? And it's something that you have to do. And, they choose the wrong company. And if you think about the nature of friendship, when you see someone go down the wrong path, do you notice that it's usually because they chose a different friendship? Nick and I went to a birthday party with our man M way back in the day. This would have been like 1995, right? A kid from that friend group that was originally a friend, he became a drug addict. And it's like, dude, so you started to hang out with these people instead of us, and look where that got you. Like, if your friends aren't on positive shit, dude, they're not your friends. Okay? And we owe it to our friends to always look out for their best interests, man. We truly do owe them that. You understand what I'm saying?
The best evolution of the friendships I have now is when we all started going to the bar together.
No, we did do that. Like, well, so put in perspective though, Tim. One of the things that Nick and I used to do was it was Nick, myself, my brother. Maybe every now and then we have like one other person. Tuesday used to be our thing. So what you just described, every Tuesday, I don't know if you guys remember this, way back when in the early 2000s, Buffalo Wild Wings had 30-cent wing night and that was over at B-Dubs. And we would go over, that was how we spent our night. And we would still do fight nights. We did, and remember, the arcade was our thing. So like as a non-drinker, the arcade was my thing, right? Like we like so instead of a bar growing up, we were always at the arcade. Always, because of course we were playing Tekken competitively. We still played Street Fighter 3. We were playing, KI Gold, or KI 2 is what it's called in the arcade. So we were gaming. So that was our version of the bar. Because remember, you remember back in the day, arcades were mainly a male space. Yeah, there was some chicks in there, but for the most part, when you went to the arcade, you were in there to do some gaming, right? And that was our thing, man. And and one of the things that's kind of sad is the friendships that you lose along the way. Sometimes their fault moreover, sometimes more your fault moreover. I mean, I can think about some of the fuck ups that I had, like with my friend Big Booty S. Although she texted me recently, and my sub's mom, obviously, that was a tough situation, and I fucked up. Or I don't even know if it's a fuck up. It's more of just a situation that you're going to lose no matter what you do. And I made a play. I made a play, and the play blew up in my face. And then that was that. But you think about all of your friends, man, and they tend to pick you up when something goes down, and you tend to pick them up. That is your obligation. And to transfer this over to the workplace. When I first got the gig, and I'll tell you guys right now, I was a piece of shit worker. Like, I knew what to do. I knew how to do it. I lacked all of the intangibles, right? All of them. And I'll never forget, man. If I were to grade myself at work, I would have given myself, thinking back in hindsight, I'd give myself a D, right? So what ends up happening is there was a guy, I'm going to call him Fisherman Bob. Fisherman Bob pulls me aside. I'll never forget this. And he starts laying into me. He's like, yeah. He goes, yeah, here's Blister. It's like, what? He goes, yeah, that's what they call you, Blister, because you always show up when the work is done. And I took high offense to this dude. He's like, yeah, I come here, I do my fucking job. Fuck you. And so, you're talking about what, like a 24-year-old me, 25-year-old me. So after I got out of my feelings, and I ended up, kind of coming at this dude a certain way. And he's like, look, dude, I'm not here to sit there and try to, shit on you. I'm just saying your reputation matters. So, being a shitty worker or not doing these little things that make the huge difference, dude, being on time, doing this, that, and the other. This is something that is that thing that women avoid, which is called accountability. And I thank Fisherman Bob, because remember, the fact that he told me that a lot of guys were saying they didn't want to work with me for all these different reasons. At least he had the fortitude to come up to me and say it. That's friendship. That's friendship. Like, even though we aren't hanging out, we aren't bros or anything. This is an older guy. I work with a lot of older guys and stuff. And for someone to pull you aside and say, look, man, I don't want to see you go down that path. And because one of the things that you learn in the workforce, that you need friendships, is that everyone's going to fuck up at some point, right? Something's going to happen where you mess up. You want to have everyone on your side, be like, this is a good guy. He's a good worker. He just made a mistake. That's what you want. What you don't want is to be a jerk. And then when something goes down, yeah, fuck him. Yep, whatever. Feed him to the sharks. And that's what you don't want. So the fact that there are people out there who were looking out for my best interest, man, I thank those people. And I thank them a lot, because it's an issue that we don't talk about enough. And we should talk much more about that in the male space, which is vetting our friends, right? What traits to look for. We should be looking for honesty, right? Strong-willed people, because you don't want that person that's going to constantly flip, right? And that's what, Tim, we talk about this. The guys that do the hoes over bros, the reason why they're like that is because they aren't strong-willed. They just go whether it be their little head, right? They go where their little head takes them. This guy goes where that head takes him, and they just, oh, yeah, it is what it is. No, man, fuck that. If you are a true friend to somebody, man, you make sure that you're going to sit there and vet to make sure they're respectful, that they're trustworthy. And then one of the things I want to tell you guys, man, is if you're vetting a friend, watch their dealings with other people and look for consistency, right? And there is a movie, I don't know if you guys saw this, it's that Andy Samberg guy. I remember I took coworkers to go see it. I took some coworkers. It's called Pop Star. We go to see it. I will never forget this scene, man. Andy Samberg's character, because it's about this group, you guys know the story. It's a group of 3 friends. They grow up together. They decide to start a band. They make it rich, and then you always have the one guy who thinks like, oh, I can go solo, and I don't need my friends, because he gets lost in the sauce, right? And in the movie, there's a point where he doesn't know what's real anymore, right? He doesn't know who his real friends are. I will never forget this scene. He mixes shit in pancake mix, right? In the batter, right? Makes pancakes and then feeds it to these sycophants around him, right? And he's like, so how's the pancakes? And they're like, so the camera pans to their faces like, oh, like you can see them like, about to throw up, right? And they're like, oh, well, it's good. And the guy who's his real friend is like, it tastes like shit. And then he realized like, so that's my only friend. All these people who just tell you what you want to hear, man, these people aren't your friends. That's why I warn these women against these crazy feminists who are enabling their worst parts of their behavior. I warn people about bitch-made simps because there's going to, yas, queen, Lizzo, you look hot. Oh, yeah, you look. See, they're just lying to you. See, they don't have your best interests at heart, right? They're never going to be real with you. And that's one of the things that's kind of transferred to the online realm, right?
I think what's in Lizzo's heart is bacon grease.
She's freebasing, man. She's straight up freebasing fucking lard. But I mean, I want you guys to think about this for a second as we close out the show. Is look at how friendship has evolved in the online realm, right? I want all you guys to think about the brotherhoods that have been formed. Some of them have been broken, unfortunately, but there have been brotherhoods and strong bonds formed in the online forum, right? In this space that we have. I give a shout out to everybody in my Discord. I love putting you guys on shows and stuff because, hey, you guys pay money. You guys are invested in the show and you should get return on your investment. Let your voice be heard. And I look at the content creators out there, right? There's a relationship, content creators, the subscribers, all that. It's a network, right? And it's a lasting, it's a lasting bond because it's a sounding board where it allows us to really share and connect with each other. Because, think about it. We got guys in our Discord, man. Tim, I remember when you first gave me the analytics. That caught me by surprise, bro. I didn't know that there were people in 63 countries that were listening to this shit. I'm talking about my experiences here in America, primarily. Even though I go to other countries. But, my experiences are primarily in America. And here we got a dude in Germany talk about things like, yo, man, this resonates with me. It does? Bro, you're in China? This resonates with you? This is a brotherhood. This was when I went to Road Rage to see Dick Masson. So shout out to Dick. And you go to Road Rage and stuff, man, and you connect with these fans and these peeps. They're just guys. We're all just guys, man. Guys are out here, man. Guys are out here trying to do the right thing. Well, they aren't out here doing the fuck shit that you see a lot of these females doing. I don't know if you guys saw that video of the ladies cheering on a young girl twerking in Times Square. We don't do that here. You look at the way guys are in this online format, we're out here trying to help guys. I get called a hypocrite. I get called names. I said, look, dude, I am a friend of man. I'm a friend to the guys out there. I've gotten messages from guys who were about to yeet themselves or knew someone who was about to. And TFM has talked about that a lot, where he goes, look, TFM has gotten a lot of messages about that. I remember listening to his shows. He talks about, he's like, look, dude, there were guys that were literally about to end it, man. Let that shit sink in, right? There were people about to end it all. And all it took for them to not do it was to go online and develop friendships and get guidance and just another opinion from someone who wasn't living in their own world. That matters to me. The fact that someone like Mama Vic sent me a friend request last year totally caught me off guard, right? Bring friend request, Facebook. Who the hell is this? I don't know who this person is. And it says, you have a mutual friend. Nick Ricada. And I think Lady Rackets is on there too. This is before I was friends with Ty Beard. And I'm like, and then she sends me a message that says, "Hi, I'm Vic Mignogna's mom. I'm a fan of your show." I'm thinking, you are? But it's funny because I'll look forward to seeing Mama Vic and meeting Vic Mignogna at Anime Matsuri, and that is the plan. And it's great to meet guys like Ty Beard. But you think about it, this is the online form spilling into the real world, right? That's all it's spilling over. Because all of a sudden you look around, you're thinking, oh, damn, yo, you're that person I talked to online, right? Oh, you're this person that I've connected with. And all of a sudden, you may be in their neck of the woods. Hey, man, come and hang out with us. That's the same thing that was happening way back when we were children trading, whether it be Pokemon cards or Nintendo games in the streets. It evolved with online, real world, doesn't matter. That's why I tell you guys, man, show appreciation to your friends. And don't be afraid to reach out and just reach out and connect with your friends and tell them that you appreciate them. Seriously, like really tell them that you appreciate them and never be afraid to reconnect. Even with somebody that maybe you guys had some form of a falling out. They always say time heals all wounds. Always cherish those friendships because a lot of times, man, you're closer to your friends than you are your own family. You start to look at it, man, a lot of your family members, hell, you only see them when it's a family reunion or a picnic or something. You're kind of like, hey, what's up? What's up? That's about as far as the conversation goes, right? And then everyone's looking on their phone. But if you guys notice with your friends, you guys are actually speaking to each other. Everyone's not sitting on their phone. And that is it, man. Just really appreciate, go out there and continue to form bonds with people, older, younger, lighter, darker, it doesn't matter, shorter, skinnier, whatever. And there's always someone out there to meet that they can change your life, I mean, hell, my friendship with Nick Requeta got me this channel. So you don't know where friendships can go.
All right, well, let's hit the email bag for today to close out this episode. A couple people sent you some videos. We got one guy here. He's a big fan of the show, and he sent you some links to Black Cuck videos.
Here's the thing. So being a cuck is the lowest form, right? Like there's nothing worse to be than a cuck. Like that is the ultimate low. But there's something extra about being a black cuck. Now it could be because most porn is showing that the cuck is the white guy usually, and then you have like the black bull. That's kind of that's the popular thing. But when you just think about black dudes in general, you don't really see them sitting there like, well, would you like to smash my wife? I'll sit here and grab the snack tray. Like, it was just something if you do see it, it's like, it's that much work. Like, so Tim, it's just as striking as seeing an Asian chick with cakes. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like one of those, like, what? Because it's not something you see every day. So when you finally see it, it's so, just so unbelievable, so perplexing to be like, wait, are you serious? And then so at first you think they're trolling you. You're like, oh, this guy really is a black cuck. And all you can do is just face palm, man, and just shake your head.
Someone else sent a video too, titled "Star Wars in Defense of Palpatine's Galactic Empire." He said you should check it out. I'll forward it to you.
Oh, nice.
He said you should check it out, but and then of course we had where is it? Right here. This email, the subject is, "My brother-in-law is a cuck." We just got finished explaining a cuck is as low as you can go. Well, so this guy writes in and says, "A while ago, my older sister got drunk and confided in me that her husband and her were swingers, and she has gotten railed while he watched. And there was no shame when she said this. It was actually just to make a previous accusation of infidelity that another sister had leveled at her moot. She said, 'Why would I lie about cheating on my husband when we have an open relationship?' He asked for advice on parsing that sentence."
There's nothing you can do. Remember, once you start down the cuck path, forever will it dominate your destiny. Consume you it will, as it did Fluffy. You see, there is no turning back, right? So first of all, disown this. You said this is his brother, right?
Brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law. Okay, yeah, disown him. This you no longer know this person. They're dead to you. Any man who ever is a cuck is not to ever be acknowledged as a human. They are subhuman. They are the lowest level of scum.
Yep. My brother-in-law died of a fentanyl overdose, and I think he's still ahead of this guy.
Very much, dude. If someone asked me, "Yo, Drex, man, what would you rather have? A brother who dies of who ODs, or oh yeah, there's only one thing lower than a cuck. Only a pedo. The only thing lower than a cuck is a pedo. So let that sink in.
Would you rather have feminism or cancer? Would you rather be a cuck or a pedo?
well, think about this. In some ways, even a serial killer gets more respect.
Oh, fuck, women line up for serial killers.
Yeah. Dude, serial killers get mad mail. Menendez brothers, Ted Bundy didn't because he was into dudes. But you look at these guys who have yeeted people. Ted Bundy got lots of mail. Dude, these guys was it Scott Peterson, right? And then this is not a serial killer, just a singular action, right? But these guys get mail. No one gives mail to a cuck.
I guarantee you, the people that RPM does hockey mask time videos about get mail. Especially that one guy. Remember he showed us that, what was that, 148 video?
Yeah, dude, that was pure savagery. Pure savagery.
What do you want to guess that he gets fan mail?
Oh yeah, once they hear the story, and especially if he has a good-looking mugshot and he looks completely menacing, the panties drop for that. Absolutely.
Oh. All right, one more email in the email bag this week. This one coming in from in from an Egyptian who lives in Europe. Says he's got a ton of funny stories, some that include him, and his observation is that simps are everywhere. To get married, you have to pay your wife at least 100 grams in gold. One of my cousins is trying to get 200 together because her family knows he is in love with her. Oh, he'll also be able to prove that you will not be happy if you marry a girl from a different country that you don't understand.
Yep.
He asks if you've ever heard of hymen reconstruction.
I have, and they also, in to piggyback on that, for those of you who don't know, the first time I ever heard about it was on Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith, who cucked Will, right? They have vaginal rejuvenation surgery. So these chicks these weather-beaten trollops have been so ran through, right? So ran through that they are going to doctor to fix up their worn out peach, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Tim, these chicks got bodies, right? These celebrity chicks, and like they have mad bodies on the odometer, right?
The reaction in the chat is hilarious, but yeah, it's true.
It's true.
RPM says no hymen, no diamond, right?
Yep.
Or who said that? Who coined that phrase first?
Undead Chronic.
No hymen, no diamond. Well, that's not even good enough anymore. You got to double check that shit's original.
Now, hold on. Now we got to be fair here. So here's the thing. This is the beauty of rejuvenation surgery, right? Okay, what age are these girls doing it? Because let's be honest, they're not getting hymen reconstruction surgery at 18, 19, right?
Do you know that?
So,
do you absolutely know that? Because I don't think we absolutely know that.
I highly doubt it.
Well, improbable doesn't mean impossible.
Well, here's the reason why I say that. You got to think about when someone becomes self-aware that their value is going to diminish, right? Like if someone asks you, "Hey Tim, who do you think is getting vaginal rejuvenation surgery?" Clearly, post-wall chicks, post-wall, right? Well, likewise, do you think there's going to be a bunch of hymen reconstruction surgeries that are for 19-year-olds? I say not.
No. Wait a second. I can see two scenarios where this happens. Number one, it would be in those very strict Islamic families where the girl got ran through, dishonored her family, and they force her to have the reconstruction surgery so that they can marry her off. Because those arranged marriages scenarios, right? So India and Pakistan too. And then the other scenario would be if there was a chick who was raped by her like uncle or something.
Yeah, but even then you'd have to have the money.
Well, again, it's the privilege that gets it. The first scenario is the one I could see more often, where these arranged marriages, the woman has to be a virgin, or your family's name is dishonored.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see where they like sneak into a back alley in Pakistan and they try to do the surgery. I could see that.
Now, I'll tell you something that you can't reconstruct or rejuvenate. You know what that is, Tim? Your reputation,
Nope.
right? Because you can go in there and say, "Oh, I rejuvenated, I reconstructed." Dude,
I'm a born again Christian.
I'm a born again Christian. Dude, your past is on is on Pornhub. Stop. People know who you are. Trust me.
By the way, this guy, he's an Egyptian, and he said he learned about it on Egyptian TV, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense because that is also where that's where they'd be doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't think 40-year-old cougars going into a clinic in Malibu. I don't think that's the target audience for this procedure.
Absolutely not. Like I said, I mean, you have to understand the age that people do something. Like that'd be like saying, "Oh, there's a girl who's 22 with a hysterectomy." I've never heard that before, right? That's for post-wall chicks. So same thing. Yeah, yeah. Mr. Lexman said the girl in the military who got death by BBC definitely got it. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Oh god, that was a hell of a story.
Yeah, dude, it's wild in these streets, man. It will, one of the things that I'll have to talk about on a later show is the future and the prevalence of the let's call it we're dealing with chameleons, right? Let's call it rebranding, right? These girls are gonna get rebranded with new faces, Tim. Right? New faces, like dude, they're gonna literally go to the doctor to get whole new people. They're gonna be it's gonna be borderline transhumanism, right? A girl with a ton of bodies, right? Ton of bodies is gonna go get the box redone, right? Check. Her, as we've seen with these Asian chicks, they're gonna get their faces done. The cheekbones get removed and put into a damn pillar, right? Check. They're gonna get Botox, fake lashes, dude.
Yeah.
Everything up, like, dude, they're gonna literally be dolls. Think about it. Look, the butt is fake, the boobs are fake, the lips are fake, the cheekbones are fake, the lashes are fake. They're getting tummy tucks, staples. Like, dude, they're gonna be so much work being done that eventually you're gonna get to a point where you're just gonna be like this, like, dude, I just don't even know anymore. I'm just gonna go ahead and get a doll because at least you know the doll. That's what you end up having. Let me give you a quick warning to all the guys out there for the future. Beware, because if you have a child by some of these weather-beaten trollops, you're gonna wind up going like this. This kid it doesn't look like me. No, bro. The kid looks like what she used to look like before 28 surgeries, right? And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this seems to be very prevalent in Asian cultures more than anywhere, right? Where the chick is a 1 or a 2 on a good day, right? With makeup and or surgery, she could become a 7, 8, or 9. Let that sink in. So imagine your child comes out and your child is a 1. You're like, what the hell is this? I don't want that to happen, man. I don't want that to happen to anybody out there. Like that false advertising. Yeah.
I mean, obviously the solution is that you start doing the surgery to the kids.
Ugh.
So
I can see that.
Oh, by the way, we got an update from our buddy in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, well, what's that?
He says he went for the pro, and by the way, it was good.
Let me. Round of applause, and that's the booty clap sound all in one.
Yeah,
round of applause to you, my brother, because
your microphone did not pick that sound up.
Of course not. What did the soundboard in there? But yeah, congratulations to him. Congratulations to him for figuring out how transactional men and women's interactions are. It's completely transactional, whether you're exchanging attention, time, money, whatever. Like, it's just transaction, man. And I'm glad this guy started to realize that and woke up and is like, well, if I want this is for all you guys out there as these governments try to figure out what to do with the dead weight, and the dead weight being, of course, women, because they're a tax drain. You're going to see prostitution become much more prevalent, right? It's already prevalent with OnlyFans, Seeking Arrangements. What are the other ones? Snapchat Premium. IG, you got all these people on, just doing the most, right? They're gonna finally get to the point that it's just gonna be outright legalized prostitution, man, on a global scale, just so they can so that the government is not gonna be responsible for taking care of these women. So what they're gonna end up doing, Cash App. What they're gonna end up doing instead is just saying, why don't we just fully legalize it, and then you're gonna see interactions between men and women be completely transactional. I'm gonna pay for your time. Well, you want a cuddle buddy? Pay me X amount. You want to have X amount of time to smash? Here's my rates. They're selling some used up Greek box in Athens not too long ago for $2, man. €2 to smash in Greece. Ugh.
The true measure of the health of your economy.
Yeah. you know, Sam,
All right.
it's actually true. That's what makes it
true.
so bad. Because if the economy says that you can buy a chick, you can buy time with a female for €2, I bet you everything else in your economy is shot, right?
Yep.
Because that's how desperate the
All right.
females got.
Well, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for episode 29 this week. We're starting to get up there in the episode numbers.
Yes, indeed.
Pretty soon, 50 is going to hit us. You know what, Drex? 50 is going to hit us as hard as it hits some of these women.
There's the zinger. That's a true zinger right there.
Anyways, guys, thanks for listening. You know where to find us. We'll be back next week. Until then, stay frosty, everyone.
Peace.